Day one of my Disney Dream Job experience began at 7 in the morning at Orlando International Airport, waiting to fly to Los Angeles. We had already been up for 2 hours at this point. 5 hours later, we arrived at LAX, 9 a.m. Pacific time. We headed over to baggage claim, grabbed our bags, and were on our way. A short while later, we arrived at our home away from home, the Disneyland Hotel. Upon checking in, we were surprised to find out that our room was already ready. And it was here that I also received my finalized itinerary for the entire Dream Job contest weekend. The next stop was to hit the hotel room to check it out and drop off our bags. I was very impressed by all the great Disney concept art all over the hotel, even on the headboard and on the comforter on the bed. After leaving the hotel, we finally made it into Disneyland. We flew in a day early, so there were no Dream Job activities on day one of our trip. We had all day to do whatever we wanted and to explore the parks. Our first stop was to head on over to my favorite land, New Orleans Square. We had lunchtime reservations at my favorite Disneyland restaurant, the Blue Bayou. As always, I had a Monte Cristo sandwich, and it was fantastic. I definitely recommend that everyone going to Disneyland hits this restaurant at least once. After lunch, we immediately headed to the new Finding Nemo submarine voyage, as we had heard it had opened that day for previews. I could have stood there all day and watched the subs go around. It was so great to see Disney submarines in motion again. Stepping down into a Disney submarine again was an amazing experience, and I couldn't wait to see the ride. Nothing could beat seeing those famous bubbles passing by the porthole, a sight I had not seen in years. After the subs, it was off to the Matterhorn for a quick adventure. And we were in the mood for some more speed, so we headed over to Space Mountain to see all its new, amazing effects. Then we caught a bit of the Parade of Dreams. We hit several more rides and then headed to Disney's California Adventure to enjoy the Tower of Terror. Next, we headed on over to Mike and Sully to the Rescue for my first time riding that attraction. It's a pretty good dark ride with some great effects.
Race you to the scare floor.
After a ride on California Screamin', it was time to watch one of my favorites, the Main Street Electrical Parade. There's the White Rabbit waving to my wife. We then headed back to Disneyland for a few more rides and wrapped up day one. Day two began with lunch at Whitewater Snacks at the Grand Californian. Their nachos are simply amazing. Next, it was time to head back over to Disneyland to enjoy the moat around Sleeping Beauty Castle. The little coves on the sides of the bridge are great spots to sit and relax. Then we met up with, well, this guy.
Hello to all the Inside the Magic listeners. Inside the Magic is right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. From Paul Berry, Calvin Berry was over here. Hello. And Tony from Above the Firehouse. Hi. And that would be me from Window to the Magic. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Paul took us on over to Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer Island. And while there were cool interactive pirate things like this, the main feature of the island, Dead Man's Grotto, was kinda out of commission, so we left. Paul and I recorded a show and then parted ways, at which point it was time for Indiana Jones. Unfortunately, this ride is nearly impossible to videotape well, so there isn't much to see here. It was finally time for the Dream Job weekend to begin. All the winners first shot an introduction video on the roof of the Plaza Inn and then gathered with their guests in Adventureland for an opening ceremony. It was held inside Aladdin's Oasis. The ceremony began with a meet and greet with Aladdin, the genie, and Jasmine. There was also a wonderful array of themed desserts. Unfortunately, there wasn't much time to eat them, as the winners were all quickly called over to the seats in front of the stage. We were introduced to many of the folks that we'd be working with over the next couple of days, along with some of the people from the contest sponsor Career Builder. After several speakers, we were then unexpectedly called up individually to enter into the Cave of Wonders.
How'd you get that?
Following a quick handshake with Mickey, I headed into the red glowing light, not knowing what was on the other side. It turns out we were on our way to orientation, where we would meet our trainers and discuss our upcoming weekend. After orientation, we met back up with our guests near the hub to watch Remember Dreams Come True, the fireworks spectacular. And that concluded day number 2. Day 3 finally put us in our costumes. We started the morning with an incredible walking lights-on tour of the Haunted Mansion, followed by a short version of the Traditions class. After lunch, it was time to head over to the Haunted Mansion to enjoy our dream jobs. While the winners for the other dream jobs were rehearsing their performances, we actually got to jump right in and do everything we had been looking forward to. We were given a brief history of the mansion outside, and then headed inside for a quick ride-through of the attraction. After that, we split up, and me, Gordon, and Michael had a chance to walk Fifi and Buddy, the Master's ghost dogs. Evidently, Fifi enjoys shoelaces, and Buddy likes to chew on pants. I was a little hesitant at first to play with the ghost dogs, but as soon as I saw how much the children enjoyed it, I really got into it.
He likes you.
Even Mouseketeer Greg and Paul and Calvin Barry had a chance to meet Buddy. We swapped out with Tim and Karen and headed into the expanding rooms for a fun time, and then all got back together and said goodbye to the mansion for the day. A couple hours later, it was time for the Finding Nemo submarine voyage VIP party in Tomorrowland. Special guests included Crush, Minnie, and Mickey. The party featured the Finding Nemo touring submarine bus, and they also handed out sparkling Mickey ears on the blue carpet. The desserts were elaborately themed to Finding Nemo. The bars were also complete with live aquariums. There was also a great live band with a dance floor filled with characters. And that was the end of day 3. Day 4 kicked off with our appearance at the grand opening of the submarine voyage.
Please join me in giving our honorary cast members a big round of applause as they officially begin their dream jobs.
It was great to be part of the official opening of a reworked classic attraction. This was the big day for all the winners to officially begin working our dream jobs.
Leads to the Haunted Mansion. I am your host, your ghost host. Kindly step all the way in, please, and make room for everyone. There's no turning back now. Our tour begins here in this gallery, where you see paintings of some of our guests as they appeared in their corruptible, mortal state.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the best view of the portraits above, kindly step to the dead center of the room and lay your bodies to rest.
I had so much fun in the expanding rooms.
Your cadaverous pallor betrays an aura of foreboding, almost as though you sense a disquieting metamorphosis. Is this haunted room actually stretching, or is it your imagination? And consider this dismaying observation. This chamber has no windows and no doors. which offers you this chilling challenge to find a way out. Of course, there's always my way. Oh, I didn't mean to frighten you prematurely. The real chills come later. Now, as they say, look alive, and we'll continue our little tour.
Please step
and let's
lively.
all stay together, please.
Continue forward, filling in all the dead space.
Following that performance, I went through it 3 more times in there and was definitely not ready to leave after it was over.
From creepy old crypts all over the world.
We also spent some time looking very creepy in the portrait hallway.
Those who have retired here from creepy old crypts all over the world. Actually, we have 999 happy haunts here, but there's room for 1,000.
Our final stop was out on the mansion lawn where we gave our final interviews, telling the camera how much fun we had all weekend. I could have stood there talking about it all day. And while I was out there, I had the opportunity to meet a wonderfully excited Inside the Magic fan who came out to the mansion just to see me.
Say hi. You can be on his video. You're a fan of his show?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Sally.
Sally, where are you from?
It's like 20 minutes away from Rancho Santa Margarita.
Cool.
Yeah, hi.
You can be officially on his video. Say hi. Say hi, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
That night was our final Dream Job event, a farewell ceremony in the pavilion at the Disneyland Hotel. All of the characters came to say goodbye as we had a quick bite to eat with one final surprise in store for us.
Hello everyone, how are you doing tonight? Great. Well, we hope you had a good time here at the Disneyland Resort. Alright, so we have a question for you. How was it to be a Disney cast member? Amazing.
Excellent.
Does anyone have any stories they want to share?
Following a few shared stories and some weekend wrap-up, we were each presented with a wonderful framed memento of our trip featuring a group photo, as well as a duplicate of our honorary cast member name badges. The Dream Job events came to a close, so it was time to hit the parks one last time to try to get in a few extra rides. We hopped on the newly redesigned monorail turned submarine to head into Disneyland. Our first stop, Alice in Wonderland, my wife's favorite attraction. It's too bad that these marching cards rarely work. Then it was off to one of my favorites, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And it's too bad that this ride is way too dark to videotape well. We then hit the other dark ride that's not in Orlando, Pinocchio's Daring Journey. Finally, we wrapped up our trip with one final trip through the Haunted Mansion. The Disney Dream Job weekend was an incredible, once-in-a-lifetime experience. I met so many wonderful people and had an amazing opportunity to make a lifelong dream come true.